that at Walmart, bro. I'm there to do food shopping. I'm not there to look at your nasty Hey guys, I'm Boot. We're in New Jersey. Let's love and hate stuff today. So guys, today what I want to love and hate is going to be mental health. And I've talked about this before in some shorts, but today I want to give you a little bit of insight into what's been going on with me over the last couple of years with my mental health and some of the situations that have brought me to where I am today and the decisions I'm making now. So about 5 years ago, Allie and I were working on getting married. We had planned out 3 different weddings because it was so stressful, and at the time her father was trying to take control of everything, and that just wasn't conducive to what we wanted. And then financial strain, mental stress, all that kind of got us to a breaking point where we broke down and called off the wedding. Within a couple of months after that, we had started replanning because it was like, well, we don't need everybody else involved in this planning. Like, this is just us. Like, we got this, So we planned out our wedding. At the same time, we were trying to get my divorce from my, bitch ex-wife. With all the court proceedings and, payments to make that happen, different sheriff's departments because she had moved state again, and, everything else. And I was at a point where I was just mentally fit to be tied, to the tune of almost slicing my throat. As I started to slice my throat, my fiance had the, common sense to get the knife away from me as I was starting to cut my throat. And it was a bad scene because I realized, like, in a split second, like, what I was doing to her. Not so much what I was doing to myself. And, of course, it's one thing for me, I feel like, if I were to kill myself. But if I were to do that to the woman that I love and that I'm gonna marry, that's a really terrible thing that I would leave a horrible legacy behind. Not to mention all the trauma she would have to endure, with that. She's been through her own traumas as a kid, growing up with her father being the way he was, and her mother being kind of scared of her father and the dealings with her father. It was a really bad scene. So, of course, she's dealt with her own traumas, and she started to get into therapy, and I went with the therapist that she had, the same office, because it was our doctor's office. She, however, moved on to some other different, therapists since then, and she's finally found something that works for her. And it's very good. It's called EMDR. And my therapy is made up of 2 parts. I have a psychologist who prescribes my medication, who is in charge of my diagnosis, and is in charge of keeping up and following up with my therapist to, keep up that diagnosis, keep up those medications and things like that. The way it started off was really great. Nothing against them as far as, in the professional capabilities. Those are wonderful from both sides. My therapist is amazing. She is very much like in tune with people and their emotions and feelings, and she's very good at just kind of giving me a direction to go when I need it, because I'm frustrated and I don't know what direction to go. She's very good at giving me alternatives to the situation, and kind of expressing when I'm doing something detrimental to my progress in my mental health. And she's very good at voicing those things and understanding where I'm coming from with some of those things as well. However, my psychologist, I see her maybe once a month, if that. And over the last couple of years, she has canceled on me every time I have an appointment at the closer office. So instead, I have to go all the way down to Atlantic City, fight my way through traffic and people everywhere to get a spot in this stupid little fenced-off parking area where, there's like ladies knocking on the dumpster and with shopping carts or baby carriages full of trash. And I'm just like, this is where I go for my mental health. This is really conducive. This screams, this is an amazing mental health place. But with that said, like I said, my therapist has been absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. She's very good at understanding my need to not leave my house. She's very good at understanding that and the reasons why. And it's not so much a mental situation, like something that's keeping me from leaving the house. It's I can't stand people. I go out in public to a shopping mall or a Walmart or an Acme or even a corner store, and there's somebody there who's going to do something stupid, and I'm going to want to punch them in the face. And I might just. And that's the sad part of my mental health issues, is that, when I lose it, I lose it. And, for a long time, I've been very in control of my actions, very in control of my feelings, very in control of my thoughts. But as of the last 3, 4, 5 years, I've been suicidal, I've been homicidal, I've been all kinds of crazy things, and all I wanted was some help. And I finally got that help. But it's things like this, like today. So about not even 2 weeks ago, I had an appointment with my psychologist. For the at least third time, she canceled the day of. I had an appointment at 9:30. They called me at 8 o'clock to cancel, and I would have had to drive about 25 minutes down there. That is just what I feel is the last straw. I need to fire this woman because I've said it before and I'll say it again. My diagnosis, I don't feel, is completely correct. Bipolar is a very big umbrella term, just in the same way as autism is a very broad term nowadays. There are so many different forms of autism and things, and I feel like maybe I have a little bit of that. There are things that I can cope with that I've learned how to just ignore, but they still bother me to this day. Like stupid things. Like right now the light is really bright in my face and that's really bothering me. And I can't stop looking at it. And I just want to turn it off so badly or turn it down because my eyes are bothering me. And like at the same time I can hear birds and crickets and shit outside like cicadas. And it's annoying. Like I hear that over everything else right now and it's so annoying. So I feel like there's other things that overlap between even just those two diagnoses. Maybe there's another diagnosis I'm not even considering right now. But these are things that bother me. And things that I have an issue with in my therapy. So being canceled by the head of my therapy team, these two people, the head of my therapy team, if she doesn't care enough to even give me a call back to reschedule my appointment or find out if everything's cool. But my therapist had no problem with 5 minutes after I was supposed to be in an appointment with her. I didn't even see it. My calendar got screwed up this morning. I don't know if that's a Google thing or maybe my computer thing. I don't know. But I didn't see it, and I just decided at that point, like, yeah, well, you know what? I'm just pissed off about therapy because of this situation. And, it's not my therapist's fault, but I did express my, anger and frustration, to the point where she could understand and, bring those concerns and frustrations to this other person, to have them reach out to me. And when they do, they're fired. Like, I don't care if I lose my therapist at this point. They're fired. If they don't have anybody else there, so be it. I'll move on. But I can't, in all good conscience, move forward with therapy if the person who's prescribing me my medication and is supposed to be following up with my mental state and keeping track of my diagnosis, if that person can't be bothered to do their job or to see me one time a month, that's a problem for me. That's a big problem for me. And they don't even have any recourse as to reach out and say like, hey, I'm sorry I had to cancel, but, would you like to reschedule? Or like, how are things going? Do you need refills? Do you need this? Do you need that? No, not at all. I used my app on my Rite Aid to rescan in my medication, and that's how it was filled. And I feel like, why am I bothering to see these people if these people aren't going to do me the justice I deserve? And that may be An unpopular opinion, a manic opinion, I don't care. I'm just fed up. And I feel like mental health is a fad. I feel like, we had COVID. Everybody went crazy, broke down because cabin fever, and the world was crazy. When the world is crazy, people act crazy. And then when we came back from COVID, nobody knew how to act in public anymore. That's why I don't leave my house. I can't stand people. People who are entitled, people who are stupid, people who act ridiculous in public. I can't stand that crap. If I act ridiculous, it's not in public. It's in private. If I'm going to have a meltdown, I don't want it to be in public. I want it to be in private. And furthermore, there's one thing between teaching somebody who is working in customer service a lesson. Give them an understanding of what they're doing wrong. I understand there's those types of situations that arise. But when you take that to the nth degree in public, and you act like a complete moron, what's the point of that? I don't want to be involved with people because of that reason. People are very opinionated, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to an opinion. Everybody's entitled to their thoughts. Absolutely. But to have thoughts like that because you think it doesn't make it true. That's the thing. It makes it true in your world, but it doesn't make it true in the rest of the world. And so while you feel you may be getting a big injustice because somebody didn't put enough meat on your sandwich at the deli, and you need to re-educate them, just don't. Just don't. I don't care if, we have body shaming and whatever. If I have to see your coochie hanging out of your jeans with a big hole in them and like lace and shit because you think you're hot, but your fat pussy is hanging out of your pants, I don't want to see that at Walmart, bro. I'm there to do food shopping. I'm not there to look at your nasty twat. And this is why I don't leave the house. This is why I can't stand the public. That's just my experience with mental health. And I just can't deal with other people in public right now. It's very difficult for me. There are times when I don't mind going to a store. If I really need something, I'll go to a store and just run in and get it and get the hell out. I have no interest in, does anybody need anything while I'm out? No, I have no interest in that. I want to get in, get what I need, and get the fuck out as fast as possible. Anybody else feeling this way? Just, leave your comments down below, because there's not enough of this, dialogue going on around the internet. And I think maybe we need some more of, mental health, but, at the same time, are we getting what we need? My wife right now, she's in college to get into the mental health field because she believes so strongly in advocacy for mental health and things like that. And, that's a big thing for me. I really think that's her calling in a way. I think that's what she was put here to do, was to help people with their mental health. And, she feels that way, and so I back her up on that. And I completely agree that she is like no other person I've ever met in my entire life. She has so much empathy for people, and so much that she takes on their feelings herself. That can lead to some really dark places for her, but she's learned how to kind of cope with other people's issues better than her own. But then again, I feel at the same time mental health is getting to be a point where it's going to be a fad. By the time she graduates and gets into the mental health field, I feel like it'll be said and done, over with, not a big deal anymore, not made a big deal, because it's just one of those things that nobody really cares about. They say they care about it just to gain public popularity and sway opinion, but at the end of the day, they're all just the same. It's mental health is a fad that they're just making money on. It's a thing right now. It's a lifestyle. And rather than have those things come to pass and be ignorant to them, people are starting to come around to the point where, yes, mental health is very important for your own well-being, not just for how you present yourself in public, but your own well-being at home. It starts with you at home. Are we actually getting what we need? Are these businesses, these therapy offices, these mental health care, medically, practically, in the same system, the same whole nine, and now they're working together to make health better, and it doesn't help anything. I feel like it's not really doing everything it could. I feel like it's doing what it should, but it's not doing everything it could to help people to the point that they absolutely might need. And that's just what I have to say about that. So anyways, I'm going to stop rambling here, and I want to leave it up to you guys to tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. Anyways, thank you guys for liking, commenting, and subscribing. Let's be our best selves together, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.